Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Real Deal. Coming at you today talking about protesters. Now there's nothing wrong with protesting. It's our American constitutional right. We have the right to stick up for things that are wrong. We have the right to protest. We have the right to peacefully assemble. Those are good things. A lot of the founding fathers, the old forefathers of the country, they thought this out pretty good. Because if something's wrong, you have the right to stand up for it. But it's 2025, and the protesters I see, well, how do I put this? They're morons. Can't say it any other way. They're not out there protesting for the good for everybody. They're out there for themselves. They're out there to make themselves look good. First of all, when you protest, your sign should be short and to the point. It should say, end the war, free so-and-so, repeal Article 27.3 or something like that. You know, it should go on like that. Something simple and short because people are driving by. Now, if you're walking, you can put more, but most people aren't going to read it. But most of these people, they're driving by you. So you have to be quick to the point because they're not going to stop. It's going to cause an accident. You're like, oh, what's that sign say? Let's see. Repeal Article 13 because of this, that, and the other. And then you got to read the fine print. Give me a break, man. So they're out there and they're protesting. And most of these guys go out there protesting. And let's just tell it like it is. They're all white. They're in all white communities. You don't see them protesting to help the black folks out. You don't see them in the inner city or the ghettos or the hood. You don't see them in the country. You don't see them sticking up for the farmers. Wonder who they're looking out for. They're on the street corner of an all-white community, a 99% white community. They're out there for 1 hour a week holding a sign that most people can't read. Most of them are shouting, no kings. Well, we haven't had a king since 1776. When we kicked the British's butt. We haven't had one since then. We've had some that were similar. Richard Nixon had a lot of power. He did a lot of crazy things. But, you know, he was backed off by the Supreme Court because that's what they're there for. That's why we can't have a king, because we have this thing called Congress, the House of Representatives. We have another thing called the Senate. And then there's the Supreme Court, where these 9 people can sit there and say, yes, they have the right to do that. That is legal and constitutional. Or they'll sit there, well, part of it's constitutional, so we can let that slide, but the rest, no. Or they'll sit there and say, no. You can't do it. There you go. We don't have kings, people. But these guys still get out there and they protest no kings. And another guy that was close to a king was FDR. 4 terms he had in there. FDR really destroyed this country. He did. He was not a good person. He was a racist, an anti-Semite. The things I could say about him. Tune in someday. I will. Make his family cry. And for the record, he was not related to Teddy Roosevelt, who was a good president. Teddy Roosevelt, they wouldn't let run again in the Republican Party. Nobody would let him run because the corporations controlled everything. And they pretty much do that now. Teddy was cool, the old trust buster. Bully! I like Teddy. He was cool. Probably my favorite president. He wasn't perfect. None of them are. But do you all remember when Barack Obama said he wanted a 3rd term? And he talked about how he would get in there and talk to somebody on a microphone, on a speaker and everything, you know, on an earpiece. And he was laughing and joking and everybody thought it was funny. But then look at the puppet we got for his 3rd term. You got a guy that couldn't control his bowels, couldn't speak a sentence if his life depended on it, turn around and shake hands with Ghost, you know. But where were the protesters? Where were they protesting? Let me ask you this. Were they protesting when gas shot from $2 a gallon to $5 a gallon? Or in California it went up to $9 a gallon. Now it's down about $6 a gallon. It dropped. It is still dropping, but that's the governor out there. Hey, Newsom, he's horrible. But anyway, where were they then? Were they protesting that? Were they protesting that the economy shot to hell? That inflation rates went sky high? That the price of eggs went from about $1.50 or $2 to $5, $6, $7 a dozen? Did they complain about the price of coffee going sky high? $10 for a cup of coffee at Starbucks went from like $5 or $6 to 10. Now it's probably back down to 7 or 8. But where were they protesting? They didn't care about the inflation. They didn't care about the unemployment rate being high. Where were they when the unemployment rate was so high during Obama's term? Where were they when the black folks of America were having the worst unemployment and economic hardship during the Obama administration? Where were they when they were suffering more than any other time throughout history except during the days of slavery? Don't seem to care about that, do they? But when Trump's in there, they're out there protesting. No kings, save our democracy, don't do this and that, And it's pretty much in, let's call them so-called open-minded progressive cities. It's not in your cities like, Detroit or Flint, Saginaw. Those are some Michigan cities. It's not in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. It's not out there in Skokie, Illinois. It's not out there in Appleton, Wisconsin. You know why? Those are working class cities, and the people work there. And they care. They care about others. They got better things to do than hold a sign to make themselves look good. These people come out once a week for an hour. People, you're not going to change the world in an hour. You're not. That's like, trying to, I'm going to go out and I'm going to protest against pollution, but I'm going to drive a gas-guzzling car to get there. I'm going to go around the world and talk about climate change in a private jet or even on a regular jet and produce chemtrails. I'm going to stop the trees getting cut down by using a bunch of paperwork and writing on cardboard. See what I'm talking about, man? They're hypocrites. And I don't like hypocrites. That's probably my biggest pet peeve in the world. And here's another thing. The last ones I saw, I just roll my eyes. It's like, oh, brother, don't you guys have jobs? Don't you have anything better to do? Here's something. How about you guys take that 1 hour a week, drive into a poor community, drive into, you say Black Lives Matter, go into the black community. Pick up garbage. Help them. Volunteer at a soup kitchen. Go to the schools and help them. They'd be happy to have it. They'd be like, hey, look, white people. And they actually care. We don't see that very often. And they don't. They don't. They sit there and say, we voted so you can do this, brother. And they're like, I ain't your brother, cracker. And I don't blame them for feeling that way. Because they know better. They know better. What did Brother Malcolm X say? He used to say this about the liberals. And I know a lot of people don't like Malcolm because the government back then, especially the left, made him look like he was a radical. He was a black radical because how dare he stick up for black rights and tell people, hey, if they're going to kill you, fight back. All right, that's pretty good advice. He said, you don't trust the liberal. He said, a lot of good white people doing things, but the liberal is the worst thing there is. He is no friend to the black man because he's like a fox. He'll look you in the eye, he'll smile at you, but he will steal your chickens and cut your throat and kill you when he gets a chance. And that's exactly what they do. These people don't care about anybody but themselves. They're out there holding signs saying, look at me, stroke me, ooh, I'm all that. They're like, holding these signs going, oh my God, I'm the best. And it's like, it's annoying. It's very annoying. And people drive by and they honk, beep, beep, oh yeah, we appreciate you. Appreciate you doing what? Doing what? Sticking up for who? Sticking up for what? Oh, you don't like Donald Trump. Okay, a lot of people don't like Donald Trump. Big freaking deal, So what? So has he done a horrible job as president? Not really. And let's talk about this for a minute, people. Let's go down this little rabbit hole. I went by this protesters the other day, and then I went by before they left, and I saw them all get in their cars and leave. Every single car was a foreign car. Every single one of them. Now, I come from a long line of the United Auto Workers and American Auto Workers. I come from a long line of General Motors people. I love it. I got people still working in General Motors, and they're building an American car here, a union-made car. Now, these cars, people say, well, they're built in America. Right. All the parts in them come from overseas, and they use child labor and slave labor, and they don't pay people much. They make a lot of their stuff in third world country, and a lot of those all that money, let's say most of that money, goes back overseas into these corporations that don't give a damn about me, you, or America. And the only reason they build the cars here is to avoid, wait for it, people, to avoid taxes and tariffs. Because when you import something here, you have to pay a tariff on it. You have to pay a tax on it. And so what do? They build an auto plant here. And they get tax breaks for putting it in certain areas. Like, we'll give you a deal. We'll pay this. We'll do that. They'll do all kinds of things because then they sit there and stroke themselves and say, look at me. I created jobs for the community. Ooh, yeah, you might have created jobs, but are they good paying jobs? Are they good jobs? Does that company really care? If that company cared, they'd be building all the little things like car handles and steering wheels in America. They wouldn't be importing all that crap. And all that money goes overseas. Now, a few years back, Chevrolet said to Japan, hey, can we build a plant there? They said, no, it'll hurt our economy. Now, the cars cost too much to sell there, so nobody buys them. Besides that, Japanese people like to support Japanese companies. Like, here's a little thing, people. American companies should be supported by American people. Just saying, man. So if you're buying a car out there, and I don't care if it's built in America, if that company comes from another country, ooh, yeah. Don't get me started, man. I'm not even going to say the words I want to say. It makes me mad because that hurts this country a lot. And that's what Trump's doing. Not hurting the country, but with the taxes and tariffs. He's making it to where everyone says, oh, it's coming in, it's going to be so expensive. You're right. It is going to be expensive because these countries are getting a taste of the medicine that they've been doing to our country for years. It's time we fight back. It's time. Because what's going to happen is these companies are going to be like, you know what? It's costing us too. And these are American companies that move their production overseas because it's cheaper to pay people. So it makes them more billions of dollars. They're all billionaires. They're not hurting. They could do it right here. Just instead of $6 billion a year profit, they'd only make $4 billion a year. Ooh, horrific. Jeez. So what they're doing now is the taxes and tariffs go up, so things are costing more. And eventually these companies are going to be like this. Either they're not going to send us it, and there's going to be a demand for it, and a company's going to start right here in America and hire American workers, or these other companies are going to come back. They're going to sit there and go, you know what? We're not making enough money here. The taxes and tariffs cost too much. We might as well go back to the USA. Ta-da! Problem solved. What does that do? Creates good paying jobs for people. Do you remember when Trump passed that law that any company that moved out of America to Mexico, and this was his first term, a lot of you don't know this, he passed a law that said if you go down there and you sell your cars in the United States and you're an American automobile manufacturer, you have to pay the Mexican employees $16 an hour. Now, that might not seem like to you and me a whole lot of money, but $16 an hour in Mexico, and I don't know if y'all been down there, been to real Mexico, not the tourist traps, not the fancy Caribbean crap. You go to real Mexico. $16 an hour, those people are living like kings. God bless them, man. That's a beautiful thing. They took that law away once he got out of there, of course. Biden overturned that and a lot of other things. But, they don't want to talk about that. And again, back to the protesters. Why weren't they protesting when Biden did all this bad stuff? Where was the outrage when they found all the cocaine in the White House? We're talking about the most secure place on the planet, probably, and a bag of coke just drops out of the wall? You ever been to the White House? I've been there. There's cameras like every 3 feet, man. They know everything that goes on there, man. So you don't know whose cocaine it is? Well, it's kind of convenient. Hunter was there that weekend. But why isn't there outrage about his laptop? Why isn't there outrage about Hillary with the email servers that she broke and smashed and threw in the water? Oops, lost it in a lake. Happens all the time to my laptop. It's kind of crazy. I lost my laptop in the lake, government. Hey, I'm going to remember that one. But anyway, so where are the protesters then? Where are the protesters when Joe Biden grabs a little girl where her breast will be someday? I had a woman, when I saw that video, a woman in the town I work in, and this makes me mad to this day. I was like, that is disgusting. That is just, you grab a little girl, 7, 8 years old, where her breasts are going to be, and he copped the feel. The video's out there. It was disgusting. She told me it was okay because she doesn't have breast yet. She doesn't hit puberty. So that's okay to do that. And I said there, what if somebody did that to your little girl? Oh, no, that's disgusting. Oh, okay, but when the president does it to a little girl, that's okay. Remember when he asked that little 6-year-old if she was 17 yet? What? What is wrong with you, man? That's disgusting. He copped feel on these kids. He'd sniff them. He'd touch them inappropriately. Where were the protesters? Where was the outrage then? They tried to stick up for it, say it's okay. And that's the problem with these people. And that's the problem with a lot of people in our society. They're ignorant. They're arrogant. They're hypocrites. They're phonies. That's the problem with our society today. It's never been as worse as it is right now. These people, they say Trump's a pedophile. Okay. Say it doesn't make it true. Where's the proof? Well, 50 years ago, I heard he did this. Okay, well, 50 years ago, I heard you did something. That's not true. There you go. See how easy it is to say something? Just because someone says it or posts it on social media or makes an AI video of it doesn't make it true, people. And now the shutdown of the government is over. So now what do these protesters and people have? The Epstein list again. That's right. They're coming out with that crap again. He's on the Epstein list. Yeah, so's your mama. Who cares? I mean, they're like, it's crazy, man. They've got to have something to complain about this guy. This guy could send them all $1 million checks and they'd cash it and they'd complain about it. Should have been $2 million. Can't believe he did that. Where'd he get the money? Who cares? Send me $1 million check. I'll say thank you very much. I'll go out to D.C. and plant lips on his ass. I'm like, there you go, Donnie T. Appreciate it, baby. Now where's Melania? I know. Don't worry. My restraining order against her ends really soon. All right. The truth is she's got one against me. He's actually got it. She loves me, but Donald gets a little jealous, you know. Anyway, man, and for the record, I'm only kidding, everybody. Just a joke. So where were these people protesting then? Where were they protesting about Donald Trump when he did good things, when the economy was booming, when gas was $2 a gallon? What are they outraged about? They get mad because he's getting rid of illegal aliens. Illegal. The key word is illegal. I can't go into any country without a passport. Many countries, I got to have pre-approval. And they can sit there and go, nah, we don't want you here. No reason. Just don't want you here. For whatever reason. They do that a lot, especially with certain races. You know, a lot of these other countries are very racist against Americans. And you know who I'm talking about. But now they're going after him for the Epstein list again. Now, when Joe Biden had the Epstein list while he was president for 4 years, I got hairy legs. Shut up, Joe. Anyway, go over there, Joe. There's 12-year-old girls. Oh, I'm sorry. They're too old for him. Anyway, I would never do that to a kid. I'd keep him away from Joe. Ugh, disgusting. Ooh. Anyway, so Joe Biden had that list for 4 years. Why didn't he release it? Why didn't he say anything about it? Why didn't he do anything about it? Now Trump gets it. You know, I do believe there's a list. Whether Trump's on it or not, I don't know. Here's the deal. Epstein was a businessman. There's going to be a lot of people on that list that visited his island multiple times because he entertained a lot of businessmen. There's going to be a lot of people on that island that went there for pedophilia because there's disgusting POSs, man. Plain and simple. And a lot of them are movie stars. A lot of them are very famous. A lot of them are politicians. Barack Obama went there several times. Barack Obama went to a lot of P. Diddy parties. Should we say anything about that? You know what P. Diddy did. That's disgusting. But hey, let's not talk about that. Let's not protest about that. Let's say Trump's on the Epstein list. So why wasn't it released when Biden was in there? Biden was probably on the list. He just doesn't know it. But there's a lot of powerful people on there. We're not ever going to get that list because a lot of powerful people are on that list and they run this country. America's become a corporation. That's why we have a businessman running it. We don't need a career politician. Here's another thing. They talk about Trump's a billionaire. Okay, so what? He's doing his work for free. He's donating money. He's building the East Wing with his own money and with donations. And he's going to entertain people. The East Wing is very small. They rented tents to have to. I mean, this is the president of America. I need to rent a tent to enter. to entertain people from other countries. We're talking dignitaries and people that are going to invest in this country. Hey, you're a billionaire worth $10 billion. Go stand in that tent. Give me a break. He knows what he's doing. Why is it they don't get mad about the career politicians? Plenty of them out there that don't do anything and make a lot of money for doing it. They're all corrupt. A majority of them are corrupt. And when one turns on them, like John Fetterman, to vote against his party, how dare he? They all hate him now. They hate John Fetterman. They also hate him for sticking up for Israel. They hate him for that too. One time these guys were harassing him. He pulled a little Israel flag out of his pocket, started waving at him, just smiled. And I thought it was funny. The media said, oh, how dare he carry that flag? Oh, that's weird. Why would he do that? Well, probably because he gets harassed a lot for his beliefs and, and his own party's attacking him. So do the protesters go against him? Oh, yeah, they do. They don't like him anymore. Protesters go against Israel, too. They're out here always here. And you'll see some of them with the No Kings rally saying, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Yeah, we'll tell you what you can do with your Palestine, boy. So, let me just tell you, they're all hypocrites. These people aren't out there trying to change the world. And they're not trying to change it for everybody. They don't care about you and I. They could care less about us. They only care about themselves. And like I said, that's a big factor with the world. We all need to care about each other. I've been to protests before. I went to a war protest, anti-war protest. I don't like war. I don't like blood for oil. I respect the troops. And I don't want them serving overseas getting killed for nothing. That's stupid. Now, if somebody comes and attacks us here, yeah, we're going to stand up to you here and we're going to kick your butt. You ain't coming in here. Heck, I'll be out there with all my guns. You ain't taking me down, boy. Come and try. It's like the words of the Alamo. Come and take it. Because it ain't going to happen. But you know what? I saw these people at the protest and they were just like the people they were protesting. I walked home. Tears in my eyes. I walked home on the levee, man. Couldn't believe it. It's like, wow, man. These guys are the very thing they hate. And that's the thing, too. These people, they talk about no hate. There's a lot of hate in their hearts. If there wasn't, then why are they so against Trump? Think about it, people. All right. Everybody stay cool. You see a protester and accidentally run them over, I have nothing to do with it, and I never told you about it, and I didn't see a thing, and I will stick up for you in a court of law. Peace and love, everybody. Stay real. Keep it real with the real deal. Coming at you again real soon.